Welcome to Healing Through Dentistry podcast,
where we redefine health, wellness, and the power of your smile.
We're your hosts,
Hana
and Eva, twin sisters, qualified dentists and medical doctors.
This is more than a dental podcast.
It's a journey into profound connection between oral health and whole body healing.
Through personal stories, inspiring client transformations, and expert insights,
we explore how dentistry can ignite energy, relieve chronic pain, and transform lives.
Get ready to discover the extraordinary ways your smile can heal, inside and out.
Let's begin.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode Healing Through Dentistry. It's Hana and Eva, and we would like to share some stories of transformations today. Our client stories, but also stories of our colleagues, because we've just come from amazing congress where we have the honor to be in one room with another 180 biological dentists, the same-minded people, and it was amazing. It was the 5th Joint Congress for Ceramic Implantology, and we wanted to actually start to share one of our colleagues' story, because that's what we're dealing in an office, I guess, very often. And so let's start with that, Eva.
Yeah, just to begin with, I would like to say that we're very grateful that we are surrounded by such experts in the field. And I'm grateful that the community, many communities are being created, and we can join experience, we can co-elevate each other, we support each other by data. So it's huge for the industry, and it's a new age of biological dentistry. In fact, there was a shooting of a new documentary which is called By Old Dentistry. So I'm looking forward to that, and please stay tuned. Find the By Old Dentistry on Instagram so you can see what's possible. And it's true, Hannah, that it's great that we do share experiences, clients' experiences, and we would like to talk about root canal treated teeth, traumas, and decisions we can make based on information. So I love the story, if you remember, about the young teenager who had an accident and she broke her front teeth. But it was not an accident. She had seizures, and she has seizures 4-5 times a month, and such a seizures that she broke her front teeth. And what we are seeing daily in the clinic is that people, they are considering, we all have options how to deal with the situation. So if the trauma or the dental decay is too deep, which is involving the pulp of the tooth, which is where the blood and nerves goes. So I always talk about options, what the medicine can do for you. And first of all, the majority of dentists all around the world, they would offer you, they wouldn't really discuss, they just say you need a root canal, which is devitalization of the tooth, which makes the tooth that organ in your body. So that's option one. The other option is to remove the tooth, and because we're just coming back from the Congress, a huge, biggest event of the year where there are biological surgeons and dentists, then the other option would be to replace the broken tooth by ceramic implant. And I love the story behind it, because this young lady, she selected the traditional and the technique, which is root canal treatment, because it's emotional. For lots of people, it's emotional to just think about losing teeth. So they would opt for the option to repair, restore.
And that's what's happened with this young teenager, right? Because she actually saw a biological dentist who suggested, let's remove the tooth, let's do ceramic implant and restore it with the crown. But she, in my eyes, freaked out. But, I can believe that a lot of people can freak out because they learn, okay, you need to have a tooth extracted. And, they cannot, their mindset, or in their mind, they cannot imagine that. So this young lady said, okay, I see you, I hear you, but I don't want to lose my teeth. and she went to see someone else and she did a root canal, or two root canals on two front teeth. But what happened soon after, few days after she's had a root canal treatment done, she's developed like a massive lesions on her cheek underneath the eyes, and it was just so big and like a lot of pus in it, like very sort of
Well, if you imagine you have pimple, this was like million times bigger and more severe, that she would really wonder, what is this? You know, beautiful young lady, never had that before. And soon after the root treatment was done, she had this big abscess on her face.
And then she slowly realized, because the biological dentist said, look, like the root canal treated tooth can have an impact on your overall health. And so she realized, well, maybe this is actually really something to do with my root canal treatment. And so she decided, based on this like experience that she's had, like ulcers or, like wound on her cheeks, it made her to actually go back to the biological dentist, and she let him remove the teeth. And what happened couple weeks later, like her skin was like
Cleared.
it was cleared, it was like renewed. And so what was even more impressive, what
What
happened
was the side effect was, which
what
is
was
the fabulous thing, was that her seizures were slowly disappearing, because this biological dentist is seeing her for 7 years now, and her seizures straight after were just once in a month. And they later on, after 2 years, there was no seizures at all. So as a side effect, and I'm saying that like
quote
with
unquote.
yes, was the biggest things what happened, which is such a beautiful thing, because what we don't take in focus, as we just are given these options what to do, is that it's so complex. The body is so smart. There is so much happening in our body we just don't know, and we cannot foresee that. So it was beautiful. It's usually on a nerve system. So we have seen such a big, huge result that the seizures are gone, and the abscesses or the severe inflammation of her face was gone within 2 weeks. It cleared. So basically, happy, beautiful young lady, and with no seizures, with no problems at all.
And I love that people love sharing the stories with you, because this colleague of ours, he's had her pictures documented. And so we were able to actually see it live, how, she improved, and also her dancing in a ballet school. And it's just so rewarding when you see that people do heal and transform so much in their life. And we see that very often today, Eva. I was having a client, we replaced two root canal treated teeth from her body and replaced it with ceramic implants. And one of them was actually on the tooth number 2, which is like the same location. It's the urogenital meridian, kidney, and bladder. And she shared with me when she saw us for initial assessment that she's had a lot of problems with her bladder when she was younger. She said it is not that often now, and I believe that that's because she has been working for 20 years with Bicom. For people who don't know what Bicom is, it's like a frequency device which is able to clear stuff from us based on frequency. And so she's been a practitioner of this device for 20 years. So she was kind of balancing her symptoms. But even though she was balancing it, she said, even today, she said, I was telling her, well, I know that you're balancing with your frequency a lot, so you didn't have so much of a severe symptoms. But she said, well, but it's not that true. Like whenever I am immunity down, whenever I am sleep depressed or whatever happens, like these things come up. So it is very good to know for people who do listen to us and they have no clue that your teeth can actually influence your whole body. It is good to have it in your mind and see that it is for us a fact that every single tooth actually lies on certain meridian, meaning it influences certain organ or organs in our body, and not only organs but endocrine system, part of your spine. So like if you imagine whole path going through your body, the tooth, and also other stuff, if you do have a problem in your gut, it can actually weaken the energy in the tooth which belongs to it.
Yeah, we have beautiful clients. So I have similar story from the week before. This lady, she's on her path also for 20 years, very young, in her 30s, 35 years. And because she's balancing her, she's doing psychosomatics. And because she's balanced, she's doing the work for this long, then she doesn't have major issues. But she said she knows that the liver is still weakened, and that's the meridian, so it's a weakened meridian on the path where the energy goes, it's weakened. And she also has a little bit tighter or rougher skin on her foot where the liver projects, so which is interesting. So we would be waiting what happens. And she said after the surgery, within the surgery, she said something like very heavy fallen out, like people usually they say it's like you would lift the lid, so that's their feeling. So beautiful, fascinating stories.
So was this lady, was it canine? You were talking about liver?
It wasn't actually canine. It was first molar, upper left first molar, but that's connected with thyroid gland. And basically I explained to her all the bacteria, everything you deal with, the toxicity, any toxicity you have, you deal with your liver. So I just explained to her that the liver is weakened by that. And yeah, so we will see the results later on. We would be sharing more. I hope this young lady, she will come on our podcast live, because we were talking about it, but it's too soon. We met just last weekend for the surgery. Yes.
Excellent.
So I think.
And we wanted to share another story, which is impressive, from the Congress, because we met our colleague there again. And that's a young guy called Samuel. And he's an impressive story because he, based on his experience, he decided to become a dentist. And why?
A biological dentist,
of
Hana.
course, biological dentist.
Because we will just tell you quickly his story. He was a professional hockey player, very good in his teens, very, very good hockey player. And no wonder what happened. The puck hit him. He lost, I'm not sure, I think he lost 4 front teeth or 3 front teeth, right? And so this is the same thing, trauma. He was offered root treatment. He did the root treatment, but straight after, he's showing us a picture from many years ago that he had a rash on full of his body. But it didn't end there. In a couple of weeks, he had such an eczema, which on his hand, which was looking like, and I'm not exaggerating when I'm saying it looked like a trunk of elephant. And he said, seriously, I was considering to end up my life, which is, I stopped. And I mean, what he just did is that he started exploring, and he found biological dentist. The dentist removed his teeth, and within a couple of weeks, everything was healed, cleared. And that's where his story of becoming a biological dentist started. So he's not even qualified yet, but he is part of the community. He is smart. He will be one of the best surgeons in the world, I'm sure. So I'm happy for his story, and he will inspire others.
Podcast, Eva.
Yes,
we should
we should.
so he can
Another life story. It's always nicer when you hear it from the people they are sharing it, because we only know the third or maybe a tiny bit from what they have been experiencing before and after. And with that, I think we wanted to yes.
Today we're not sitting next to each other, so it's more difficult to see who's gonna be speaking. So Eva, we need to be careful about that. But I was just saying it'd be nice to have him on the podcast so he can share it with us. And yeah, you wanted to say something.
I wanted to finish the podcast because we wanted to share these wonderful stories about root treatments, and we would be talking about other stories in next episode. So see you in the next episode.
Thank you for joining us on Healing Through Dentistry podcast.
We hope today's conversation has inspired you to see your smile as the gateway to whole body well-being.
To stay connected, visit us on our website or follow us on social media.
If you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a review, and share it with someone who could benefit.
Until next time, remember, healing starts with a smile.
Take care.
And we will see you in the next episode.